At this point, I've managed a single fastest achiever on PSN profiles, that being for the PS4 version of Thrillville, a record which still stands at the time of writing. However, given how much time I spent learning Clock Tower Rewind and even making a literal hand-drawn map that people thought was kind of bizarre in the PSN Profiles Discord, I decided that this game could be a solid target for another fastest achiever run. I already got the PS5 Platinum in just a few days, and the fastest achiever at the time was, I believe, 3 hours and 52 minutes, but it might have been less than that. So I think it's definitely a possibility. But with the amount of RNG and old 90s game jank, will we be able to do it? Let's find out. By the way, if I lose, I have to not only take a Bean Boozled challenge, I must also platinum stroke the Dik Dik. So the way PSN Profiles tracks completion time is that the timer begins when you earn your very first trophy for the game. Therefore, I decided to grab one of the really heavily RNG trophies as my first one. We want to only see... Okay, starting now. That happened way faster than it did on the other version, by the way, developers. We silenced the parrot, but I'm still very happy that I managed to get that steak today that I still swear I think they mislabeled it. Then get 2 trophies for our first encounter with Scissor Man. Hopefully we only go through the Scream hallways one time. Sheer terror! And also, I do have to get a dead end at some point. And you get both those trophies at the same time when starting the game, which is nice. I'd like to note that on this first playthrough, my goal is to grab the H ending and then end the playthrough with the most difficult S ending. I won't really be discussing all the requirements and stuff too much here, as I already pretty much did that in the original Clock Tower video and in my guide on PSN Profiles. We knock out the H ending. Go, Jennifer. We're on a timer here. You're surrounded by especially to get everything done quickly, so it kind of makes you want to go off quickly as soon as possible. And then we hit continue on the main menu, and voila, we are right back in the garage to continue with the S ending. Save, and continue. And it leaves us off right in here. Perfect. So yeah, we can knock out the H ending like that. Awesome. We grab the pesticide, the black robe, and use the pesticide for a trophy. Of course, because the rooms switch on every playthrough, because that makes sense to someone out there that developed this game. Don't see anything on the patch notes about it, and they broke the servers. Wow, that's about right for Activision at this point, if we're being honest. Then we get our first dead end, and thankfully the trophy unlocks with no issues this time because it was problematic on the other version. Oh, there he is. I was wondering when he would pop out. Alright, let him kill me. And see if that gets... Yes! Okay. That got me the trophy. You know what? I'm not mad. I am not mad at all. That got me the trophy. After learning that we're going for the staff on this playthrough, we enter the west wing through the upper Scream hallway, thankfully without Anne dying. Which we gotta go to no matter what. And I'm ready to reload save if needed. Okay, made it through the hallway. We then get really lucky and immediately find the taxidermy room, and we defeat the undead threat for a trophy. Got the ghostly encounter out of the way. Now we got the taxidermy room immediately. And then I managed to luck my way into the cat scare a minute later. God, I'm not used to this kind of good RNG. Let's get the cat scare, please. Perfect, yes. We defeat the ghost doll for a trophy. To a doll today. Awesome. Dolly Dearest. That's another trophy out of the way. And I honestly don't think I've ever seen this happen. Oh, wonderful. Wait. Can he? He can follow you. Wait, what? Well, this is... I've never seen this happen before. After that unpleasantness, we return to the secret room for a trophy and some story exposition. Alright, got that trophy. Then we rapidly pop 3 trophies for taking a breather. Let's get... What? Oh, what? Collecting the staff. Okay, that's bad if that trophy was buggy on this version, but the other one wasn't. And for Scissorman's attempt to play the Moonlight Sonata. Hey, there he is! Alright, give me that trophy. Give me that trophy. There it is, a deadly duet. Alright. With the necessary items collected, we head to the caves, and then pop a trophy for sneaking past the doggo. Alright, Master of Stealth. Master of Unlocking. Master of Unlocking Trophies. Surviving the encounter with Dan pops a trophy. As I didn't tell him that. I didn't tell him that's why it was scary. I told him that it actually legitimately scared me multiple times. I never told him why. So as far as he knows, Scissorman can only come from certain places. From cradle to grave. And we successfully grab the S ending for another 2 trophies. This ending is actually not canon. Surprisingly, it's the only good ending that isn't considered potentially canon. Because in the sequel, it's clearly made mention that Jennifer is the only apparent survivor. None of her friends survived, and it's specified that way, so this is actually going, like, surprisingly well so far. For our second playthrough, the goal is to grab the A ending, which is almost as difficult as the S ending, but slightly less difficult. We obtain some very important ham, and Jennifer very clearly never heard the PSA about not taking drinks from strangers at the bar, but I guess the go-to-sleep drugs are worth a trophy. We actually want Miss Mary to be here. Hey, look at that! Exactly what I wanted. That is exactly what I wanted to have happen. And then we find a use for the ham. We enter the courtyard for somehow the first time, for an easy trophy as well. Because that would be too logical. There's the courtyard trophy. We have a bit of bad luck in the Scream hallway. Damn it. Free some crows. Deal with the giant demon baby again. And successfully obtain the A ending. For our third playthrough, we are going to want to go for the B or C ending along with the G ending. But first we grab a trophy for nearly falling into a hole. Perfect. Get that one out of the way. Now these endings are a lot less problematic because you actually have to see all of your friends die, so RNG is definitely less of an issue. This time we actually would like to see Anne's death in the Scream hallway, and we somehow get it first try, and that pops a trophy. Pretty awesome. Let me see if I can knock Anne's death out right now. Yes! Yes! Thank you, game! You were being so nice to me today! Anne gets thrown out the window, we get a trophy, and we are well on the way to the B ending. Having seen 2 friends die, we can get into the car and escape for the G ending. Then we continue from the main menu to resume our B or C playthrough. The last somewhat difficult trophy in the game is for using the rope to escape, which is a fairly long and potentially tricky secret, I guess you could call it. Basically, you have to walk from the left to the right while being chased by Scissorman, and without ever using the wood plank before being chased. It takes a few minutes to set everything up, but ultimately we actually grab the trophy without too many problems. Attach the rope! I love how it's still in my inventory for some reason. And the RNG is done. Guys. I hope it doesn't break here. We actually can do this. With that, all that's left are the B, C, D, E, and F endings. I was actually able to do a bit of stacking here by grabbing the F ending, ending. Then the E ending. Alright, that's the E ending. And then the D ending. Yes! Yes! So I guess I kind of got confused there and decided to knock out those 3 endings before the B and C endings, which each require their own separate playthroughs. I officially went for the B ending next. These endings have very similar requirements to the A ending, but you have to see all of your friends die and not rescue the crows. Finally, we have the C ending, which only differs from the B ending with the button that you push in the elevator. We throw Mary off the tower, kill Scissorman one last time, and obtain the Platinum Trophy in 2 hours and 48 minutes, earning the fastest achiever for the second game ever for my profile. Majority of the big fans to be the canon ending? I don't know if that's true or not. There it is, all endings! Clock Tower Survivor! 2 hours, 48 minutes, and 58 seconds. Guys, I'm a record holder, again. Twice. 2 games now, I have the fastest achiever. I did it. I actually did it. Well, we actually did it with a lot of time to spare, in all honesty. And I gotta say, this wasn't really that hard of a speed run, though I did definitely get very lucky with some of the RNG for at least a few of the trophies, which is definitely not what I'm used to seeing happen. Despite spelling out how to do everything in a guide and uploading that original stream, my 2 hour and 48 minute speedrun still stands as the fastest time for the game, nearly a year later, at least at the time of recording. I'm definitely proud of myself for pulling off my second ever Fast Achiever milestone, and I really hope to do it again with other games in the future, even though they will not always be successful. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed, go ahead and leave a like, subscribe, ring the bell if you haven't done so already. Let me know down in the comments how many games you've managed to get the Fastest Achiever in. And because I felt like the challenge was honestly kinda easy, I decided to take a Bean Boozled anyway with these results. This is either a booger or a juicy pear. Neither of those sound good. So it's either a booger or a juicy pear. Well, let's find out. I think it was supposed to be a juicy pear, but it doesn't taste that good. But it's not bad enough to be the booger. Huh. I don't actually know what that is. It doesn't taste great. It doesn't taste like either. But it doesn't taste bad. Why not one more? I'm a glutton for punishment. Okay, we got another one of these weird-looking yellow ones, so... I mean, seriously, there's several that look like this color. I don't know what this is. It could be dead fish or strawberry banana. And it smells awful. That's nasty. Yeah, that's dead fish. No. I don't need to eat it because I won the challenge. I don't need to eat it because I won the challenge.